Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be painting up this Emperor's Children Chaos Space Marine. Going over our black primer, I'm going to be putting down a thick layer of Nagaroth Night. As you can see here, I actually did a different base coat first, but it was far too muted and I wanted a deep, vibrant purple for the shadows. After that was established, I went through with one of my favourite paints, Diabolic Plum. This just pops so well on whatever it's put over and it looks really great. The next paint I grabbed was Warlock Magenta. If you were strictly using Citadel paints, I'd probably recommend going for Screamer Pink in this case. With this, see what I'm trying to achieve here is just building this gradual transition, wanting to keep the previous purples prominent in the shadow areas and slowly make our way up to a brighter, more vibrant pink as we go. And now with Pink Horror, I'm going through and covering even less of the surface area than last time. Just really want to make sure that we keep the nice dark colours and tones popping through in the shadow areas and recesses. As you can see here, I'm leaving a lot of the purple there showing through by only painting, say, 80% of the way down the hand. And the same with the legs. I'm not doing the back portions to keep the darkness and colour variation. Next up I've got an even brighter pink, which would be, if you're, again, Citadel paints, would be Emperor's Children Pink. Just doing some tiny little specular highlights here, which I then forget to show, but glaze over with the previous paint to just tie it all back in so they're not as prominent. Now moving on to the trim, I've gone for Retributor Armor. I did try the other gold pictured there as well, just to see how it felt to use really, but I preferred the Retributor, so that's what I stuck with. Making my way across all of the trim pieces. If you're wondering why I've got a light tan brown layer down, I just went through and put that down just to establish a lighter base for working off the metallics. I'd love to say that's the only reason. I did want to attempt to try and do non-metallic metal, but I pussied out at the last minute. But anyway, the true metallic, as you'd call it, I think just, looks really nice, and I need to keep it the same as the others. Going in now with our base, which is Iron Warriors, for the silver metallics. Now with some Reichland Flesh Shade, I make my way back around the miniature, going across all the golden trim pieces. This honestly is magic in a bottle. Just look at how it makes these metallic items pop. You've got that deep dark recesses, pinpoints all of the rivets and everything else as well for you. Once I was done with that, I grabbed some Nuln Oil and did the exact same process, but for all of the silver trim pieces, across the mask, backpack, chains, and his weapons. And now with Bagman's Glow, I've gone across what I'm interpreting is flayed flesh that he's got draped across the power armor of his leg. I did 2 coats of this, followed up by a wash of Reichland Flesh Shade. And while that was drying, I then grabbed a nice dark green and jumped onto filling out his hair, top knot, and the tassels. Then grabbed a Thonian Camo Shade and did a wash across all of the hair pieces. Obviously the top knot and the legs also. Forgot to record the next step, showing what colour I used for a slightly brighter, more vibrant green, picking out some highlight strands before moving on with Moot Green and really bringing it home, punching up the values and colour there. Oh god, I love that stuff, it looks so good. Then I've added onto my palette Kislar Flesh, Cadian Flesh Tone and Rakath Flesh. Now with these I've been just splodging on, stippling, doing a bit of wet blending between them all to just get a really dirty, filthy, mottled, essentially dead looking skin tones going on across that flayed bit of skin. It looks horrible, but it's so good. Once I was happy with how that was, I grabbed some pallid witch flesh and just did a few little streaks of highlights on where it's pulled taut and anchored onto his armor. Now jumping back in there with Retributor armor, I'm going through over the trim again, not taking away any of the shadowed areas that we've achieved by using the washes. I'm just picking out all of the highlights. Anything that's going to be facing upwards towards the light source is getting a quick go over with this. Now I go through again with Auric Armor Gold this time and just doing an even higher highlight point across the entirety of the trim pieces. I say the entirety, I lie, I didn't actually do all of them, just the main focal points and the highest edges. And now we're on to our last step. With fluoro green in hand, I'm going to lay down a couple of thin coats of this over the white lenses, and that is it, all done. Fulgrim and Slaanesh would be proud. And that is our mini all done and dusted, ready for the tabletop.
Can we play with him, Master? He seems so unhappy. Let us help him smile, please. Or at least let us carve one on his face when he stops screaming.
And with that, our traitor legions are all completed. If you enjoyed this content, please do like and subscribe. I will be continuing on and starting on the Loyalist chapters next.